So this is the moment of truth.
Uh-oh.
This is the last movie of the original trilogy. And I am going to put your expectations really high, because I don't know if you know this, you probably do. You've known me for a while. And I can tell that you're enthralled because you're picking through your food while I'm talking, but that's okay.
I'm listening. I thought you were talking to the audience.
Yes, and I'm talking to you, Erin, but I will have this be known to you, even though I'm raising expectations, that this movie is responsible for one of the best days of my life.
You lost your virginity watching this?
No. This movie was responsible for one of the greatest days of my life.
Okay.
And I will explain it to you after
I'm sure the audience is
the
very
movie,
excited to hear it as
because
well.
I don't want to give anything away. So, are you ready? Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm sad that it's the last of the three because I'm really enjoying them. But
Right. Well, there's episode 7 after this.
True that.
Yes. And then episode 8 is Christmas already, so that's not that far. So, we're going to sit back, we're going to relax, and we're going to enjoy Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So, the next thing you'll hear is the credits, unless Erin falls asleep during the movie, which is possible.
You're very possible.
But even if she does fall asleep, we'll record this, another day from the part in which she fell asleep. But the next thing you'll be hearing will be the end credits, and it will be us reviewing the movie. And then as a bonus, I'm going to record us watching the movie, and then you'll hear our comments throughout the movie, and I'll piece it together, and then I'll just tack it on as a bonus thing. So, I'm hitting record. I mean play. It's late.
I can definitely,
Now, that's young Anakin, but in the original, it was old Anakin that appeared, and fucking Lucas changed it. Like, why would Luke recognize young Anakin? It just makes no sense.
I guess.
Well, Lucas's explanation was that it was Anakin before he turned to Darth Vader.
That's what I was thinking.
All right.
And I assume is that the actor that's in the...
Yeah, that's Hayden Christensen. Movies? He's in the prequels.
So maybe that was a throw to that.
Of course it was, yeah, but it was just the original ending was so much better, and the song was so much better. But let me tell you my Return of the Jedi story about one of the best days of my life. So this was 1983, so it was May of 83, so I was 6. I was in first grade, and I saw the trailers, I saw the previews, and there were so many rumors growing up, and there was no internet, so it was just kids in the neighborhood. I don't know where they got this, but it was like, oh, Luke's gonna die. Luke's gonna die. And Luke was my favorite character, so still is my favorite character, and I kept saying, no, he's not gonna die, he can't die. Meanwhile, I didn't know if he was gonna die or not. So, it's Memorial Day weekend, 1983, and back then, it was one theater. There weren't any multiplexes back then. That was the year you were born. You were 2 months old. Yeah. So we have to wait. We couldn't buy the tickets in advance, so it was first come, first serve. So we were waiting for a couple of hours.
Wow.
And the line was like around the block. So we ordered Chinese food, and we ate Chinese food online. And in my family, Chinese food is a big deal, because
it's a big deal.
We always ate it like every Sunday. Insert Jewish jokes here. But, so we were having Chinese food online, and I had a book that I took out from my elementary school library. It was called Morris and Boris. It was Morris and Boris, something Halloween. And I read it like 9,000 times online, because I didn't have a smartphone. There was nothing to do. So we just waited. It was me, it's my mom, my dad, my older brother. I only have one brother, he's older, and my cousin.
Scott?
No, Jody.
Oh, really?
And she's
I'm surprised she was into
older than my brother, too. So we, waiting online, we go in, we get seats, we get good seats. You know, this wasn't, you couldn't reserve any seats. So the crawl happens, and for some reason, I was able to read back then, so I was able to read everything, but I don't think my dad was aware that I knew how to read, so my dad kept reading everything to me.
That's just something your dad would do. Like,
Yeah.
he would do that now.
And he was like, it is a dark time for the rebellion, and I'm just like, I wanted to say, Dad, I can read, but I didn't want to, I just didn't.
Yeah.
So throughout the whole movie, anytime there's subtitles, he would like whisper in my ear, like, you know, Jabba saying whatever, like he's no Jedi or whatever Jabba said. So there was that. But at the very, very beginning of the movie, while the crawl is happening, someone had the nerve to like get up and stand up and do something, and the whole theater, including my dad, just yelled, "Sit down!" Yeah. So the guy like sat down right away.
That's funny.
So we're watching the movie, and everybody's cheering at different parts. So it gets to where Luke is being zapped by the lightning. And first of all, you know, I was wondering, like, come on, Luke, kill the Emperor. It would be so easy if you just killed him, like, not knowing that Luke would be tempted and fall to the dark side. I didn't understand it back then, like I know now. So the Emperor is zapping Luke, and I'm going, oh my God, the neighborhood kids were right. I said, Luke's gonna die. And I'm screaming. No, like almost at the top of my lungs in the theater, going no, and the part where Vader grabs the Emperor and kills him and throws him down, I cheered so loud, and the whole theater cheered so loud because nobody knew anything back then, and nobody got hold of the script and posted it on the internet. Just nobody really knew, and nobody wanted to know of it, and it was just like a rock concert kind of cheering in the theater. And you know, it was one of the best days of my life because growing up, and even at that age, movie theaters were a sanctuary to me, and you know, no one could yell at me. I couldn't get in trouble there. Meanwhile, I was 6 and already knew what getting in trouble and getting yelled at was like. But
Everyone knew that by then.
huh?
Everybody knew that.
Yeah, but it was a safe place for me. So when that happened, it was just that release and that, you know, the hero winning. It was just so, I felt such a feeling of triumph, and I had already watched episodes 4 and 5 so many times before that, because I think we had them on Betamax or something back then. I think for somehow I managed to watch them like all the time, and it was such a it's probably the greatest movie going experience I've ever had, you know, until like episode 7 and Rogue One came out. But so it was just, you know, one of the greatest days of my life. And then after we see episode 7, I'll tell you like my episode 7 movie theater story. But I will say that I saw episode 7. This time it was myself, it was my father, it was my brother, and this time it was my nephew.
Yeah.
It was my brother's son 30 years later. So it was 30... Let's see, episode 7 was 2015. So yeah,
32.
like 32 years later.
My age minus however many years ago it was.
Yeah. So that just very poetic, very, you know, the circle is now complete, you know, patterns and just things running parallel and things rhyming, just, you know. It's one of the reasons why Star Wars is so important to me, you know, aside from great storytelling, aside from it hit me at a certain age, at a certain time, how I was brought up, where I was brought up, that I had access to movies and all that. So it just, Return of the Jedi solidified just how much this series meant to me. And back then we thought this was it. This was the last one. So it ended on such a high note. So yeah, that's my Return of the Jedi story. How was your Return of the Jedi story?
It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked it. I was happy to see Jabba the Hutt get killed.
Why?
Because he was a piece of shit, and I just didn't like him existing.
Mm-hmm. What didn't you like about him?
He was just so gross.
Right.
Like, in every way possible. From sloth to gluttony to perversion to just inhumane. Just a piece of shit. I was really surprised by how it ended and how Vader converted back in the end, and it's kind of like Luke had like a double victory because he defeated his father in the best way possible by converting him back to a good guy.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that was kind of awesome.
What else did you like about it? What'd you think of Leah in this one?
She didn't really seem any different. I mean, you know, still kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah. Return of the Jedi has been criticized for the fact that, and I don't agree with this, but the fact that the first half, it was kind of like two different movies. So you had the rescue mission in the first half, and then you had the rebellion in the second half. So people seemed to like the first half, but didn't like the second half because of the Ewoks, mostly.
What?
Yeah. So I can kind of understand because they were so cute and furry, but it didn't bother me as much as it does some purists. I referred to, on our Empire review, about the movie Clerks and how the movie Clerks changed my mind about how Empire was the best one. And they said that, you know, aside from Empire being, just like life is a series of downers, the main character also said, and I withheld this because I didn't want to give anything away, but the main character also said was, all Jedi had was a bunch of Muppets, referring to the Ewoks. So I guess they felt it would have been more greedy if it was a planet of Wookiees as opposed to a planet of teddy bears, but it didn't bother me. I didn't mind the cuteness of it. I mean, they were still very, very effective, obviously, in war.
Yeah, they were still badass.
Yeah, and people couldn't believe that they could take down the stormtroopers, but like I said during our commentary, it's
home turf advantage.
Well, they have the home turf advantage, the home field advantage, but you can equate it to guerrilla warfare, like something like the Vietnam War, where the American army completely outclassed the North Vietnamese in firepower, on paper, in firepower, in numbers, but the North Vietnamese were able to defeat us just because of the guerrilla warfare. They knew the turf, and they had better tactics. And plus the North Vietnamese, it was their home, while the American troops were like, well, what are we fighting for anyway? So the morale was really low. And maybe the Empire kind of feels that way too. The stormtroopers might have been, under duress to serve, Who knows? The Empire might have said, if you don't join the army, you can be treasonous and you're going to be put to death anyway. They didn't really get into that.
Wouldn't surprise me.
At least in the original trilogy.
I really doubt many people were volunteering for that shit.
Yeah. Well, Han Solo's backstory, at least in how we know it now, when the movie comes out, this could change, but his backstory, at least the way I know it, was that he was in the academy, the Imperial Academy, and he, got out of it.
Oh, snap.
It's definitely Wedge's story, because in the cartoon Rebels, there's a Star Wars cartoon Rebels that take place between episodes 3 and 4, where they show the origin of Wedge and how Wedge was in the Imperial Academy training, and then he was, what he did to actually turn on the Empire and join the rebellion. So the rumors are that's kind of what Han did.
They should do a movie about that.
Well, they are. It's the young Han Solo movie.
I meant Wedge, but...
Oh, well, they kind of touched on that in Rebels. In Rebels, which is kind of cool, because Wedge is a popular character. So, what'd you think of the Emperor?
He was a piece of shit.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was exactly what I expected.
Yeah, just like the total bad guy.
Yeah.
But as far as, do you have a better understanding of what the dark side is, just based on the Emperor's psychological warfare?
I think it's based on all the power generated from anger and negative emotions in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and how easy it is to turn. Because in this one, you could easily see why Luke did what he did out of anger, when Vader threatened his sister, and all the traps that the Emperor laid, and the Emperor tempting him. It's all about temptation in the dark side, and I think this movie illustrated that so well. And then the lightsaber fight, just the emotion behind it. It wasn't technically the best lightsaber fight, you know,
Yeah.
and from like a stunt person's point of view, but the emotion behind it was just so powerful.
Yeah.
So, this is the question, and I know it's late.
Which one's your favorite? Blah, blah, blah.
Now, I'll give you time to think, but if you can't think about it now, we can always answer it at another point.
I think I might say this one because
Really?
there's more layers and more things happening.
Right.
But
Right.
I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It's your opinion.
Yeah, my opinion is subject to change.
Of course it is. Well, as was mine. You know, I liked this movie the best for so long because there was a resolution, there was an ending, there was a happy ending, and you left this happy. Whereas Empire Strikes Back, you leave it just kind of going like, oh wow, it was great, but oof, what a bummer, you know. And Episode 4, even though that was great, it was just the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think with me, I liked Return of the Jedi for so long, especially as a kid, because it had that resolution that I wanted
Yeah.
it to have. So, you know, anything else? Anything else stand out?
There was something in there. I can't remember what it was. Just give me a second.
The Leia slave outfit?
No, it had nothing to do with that at all. Oh, I thought it was remarkable how the Ewoks were so, like, into helping.
Yeah.
Like, they had no reason to be so awesome, but they were like, fuck it, we're just gonna kick some ass and
Yeah.
do stuff and sacrifice, like,
Yeah.
people and shit. It was kind of cool.
One could argue that the Empire would have taken over the whole planet anyway and used their natural resources
Oh, of course, but
and kill them anyway.
they didn't seem like they would have
But-
thought of that.
Yeah, but they seemed very trusting of, you know, of the rebel band, which was
Yeah.
good. There have been 2 television shows about the Ewoks.
Really?
Yeah, and I loved them as a kid because it was after Return of the Jedi, so it was new Star Wars live action stuff. But I think if I watched them now, they're supposed to be pretty horrible. But Wilford Brimley was in one of them.
Oh, wow.
And then there was a cartoon
Diabetes.
series. Diabetes. There was a cartoon series called Ewoks, I believe. And then there was... Wait, was there a cartoon series called Ewoks? No, there was droids. I don't know. No, I think there was just droids. And Ewoks were the live action. But, you know, it's kind of... It's not. I don't think it's considered like official Star Wars canon anymore, or if it is, it's just kind of forgotten. But they were popular because, because, you know, and the cynical people will say, "Oh, Lucas just did it to sell toys," but I don't know. At that point, Lucas was so rich. I don't know if he had motivation to necessarily do that, but it would have been cool to see a planet of Wookiees as opposed to a planet of Ewoks. But I'm not complaining. I'm really not. So there you have it.
There you go.
Anything else before we go? And by go, I mean sleep. Before we go to sleep?
Yes. And by that I mean no.
Oh,
I don't know. My head is killing me right now.
all right. So, because her head is killing her, we will end it. So does this make you excited for episode 7? To see what the hell happens
Yes.
30 some odd years later.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know that episode 7 is in real time. So 30 something years later, you get to see what happens to
Everything.
everyone and everything.
Awesome.
So episode 7 will be next.
I'm excited.
Excellent. So I can feel your excitement.
Uh-oh.
Yes. And, all right, great. So, where can people find you, Erin?
Over a river and through the woods? No. ERIN. Oh, wait, no, that's not. I'm like about to give out my email. Just kidding. Wow, I'm tired. ERUNUEVO. On Twitter.
And,
Or on Facebook, Erin New.
oh, wow.
NEU.
Any you.
Not W. Please don't spell my name wrong. It's
No.
only 7 letters. Get it together.
Exactly. And new means new in German.
It's pronounced Noi, apparently, but
Oh.
I didn't know that until I was in 8th grade, so it's kind of too late.
And if you watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail, one of the knights, instead of the knights who say me,
Yeah.
one of the characters said no.
Oh, really?
No. It's like, no, ni. So, anyway, I'm at Mike Lane Act on Twitter. That's MikeLaneAct. You can find me at Mike Lane Actor on Facebook, Mike Lane Act at yahoo.com. And please comment, share on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, and
Your mom.
no one's mom. No one's mom. And stay tuned right after this for the commentary. So we will say goodbye now, but you will hear our voices in a little bit. So goodbye, everyone. Have a good one, and may the Force be with ya.
Okay.
That's the old THX.
That'd be so awesome 3D. Yeah, theater.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I saw episode 7, that was in 3D.
Word.
That was awesome. Oh, I sang too soon. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. When my nephew first learned how to read, that was like one of the first things he read. So when he would see that on the screen, he would say, "A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away." That's my nephew imitation.
Oh no.
And tilt down, as is tradition. What is that?
Oh god.
So that officer was a good acting performance, because as scared as he was as Vader, you saw how even more scared he was of the Emperor, and that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
When I saw this in the movie theater, everybody cheered at this part because you saw the droids again.
Yay.
So this was 3 years after Empire Strikes Back was in the theaters, and I think this was like a year or two in the timeline as far as how long after Empire.
Okay. I like Japanese.
Huttese.
I know. Does he have his own language, or?
I think Huttese is native to Tatooine, which is the planet they're on now.
It's just weird that he has a language that sort of sounds like it's named after him.
Yeah. Now, you can't see what that creature is, but it's a giant spider with, like, a brain inside
No,
it.
I can see it, and it's
Yeah.
creepy as fuck. Hey, Shrek. Or not. What Shrek looks like in my nightmares.
Those are Gamorrean guards. The line, "I have a bad feeling about this," is in every Star Wars movie.
Is it?
Yep.
Gee, I wonder why. Oh god. I don't know how he thought up, like, the way these things look.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky I can get dressed in the morning. My brain does not create things this awesome.
Smoking out of a bong. Or a water pipe.
It's like... Oh, I forgot he was frozen. For something that's supposed to be so smart, he sure doesn't pick up on little things, like...
Yeah, that must be his programming.
Like, he should have learned by now that, you know, there's always another side that he's not seeing. That, you know,
Yeah.
Solo's got tricks.
Well, they never explain the psychology behind droids and their personalities. So I like to think that it's they're designed by humans or humanoids to have these personalities to make them more relatable to us, whether they're good or bad or whatever.
I guess I just assume that, you know, AI, like the way it is now, or it's more of a learning.
Right. No, I mean, someone like 3PO and R2-D2, they still learn, but and their personalities are developed by their experiences. But again, to make them more relatable, depending on who their designer is. Now, that droid in pieces was the original design of C-3PO.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. All right, now, this is all added, and it wasn't in the original movie, and it's just not good. Like, what they originally had was fine, and Lucas just went overboard with the CGI and wanting to add new scenes.
Oh, that was
and
kind of cute.
eh.
I could dig it.
Just after seeing the original so many times, it's just so unnecessary. like that technology was still relatively new, so I think Lucas was just like, yeah, let me throw some stuff in there. And I like the original song better.
Oh no, why? She was a good dancer. Aww.
Now in the original version, you just showed her fall into the trap and didn't see what happened after. And then right after she fell into the trap, he ate the frog. And as a little kid, I thought that she turned into the frog.
Yeah.
And then Jabba ate her.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird.
But at least in this version, it's a little better. They showed her falling into the pit.
I know it was added in because I can tell by the CGI, but that was really
That
cute.
actually wasn't.
Really?
It might have been
CGI.
It might have been CGI, but that scene was in the original movie.
So how did they do that?
I don't know. It might have been, CGI'd over.
Okay. Well, anyway,
But that scene
it was cute.
Yeah.
I liked it. I need more broken frogs in my life, apparently. Yay, reanimation. Is Bantha a monster thing?
Yeah, Bantha's a big elephant. That was seen in episode 4.
Okay. Oh. I really want a Chewy to pet my head and hug me like that.
Right.
It's so cute.
Just to remind you, he's not a pet. He is a sentient being.
But he's so furry.
Yes, this is true.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Somebody's got skills now.
I remember in the movie theaters, as soon as Luke did that, people were like, whoa!
Aw, poor Leia, an object.
Mm-hmm.
Again. She was so fucking hot, damn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can wear that. to the party.
Well, it's a very popular costume in, like, Comic-Con and, yeah.
Because it'll probably be freezing at this.
A lot of fanboys love that. And some fangirls. I don't think the Slave Leia action figure or any toys with her in that outfit are sold, because I think people were mad that, a slave would be, sold like that to children. But the fact that she's wearing that doesn't bother me because it serves the plot. Jabba's a scumbag, and he has women as slaves, so it would make sense that she would be in that.
Yeah, I get it. Oh no.
Quite a difference from Clash of the Titans, huh?
Oh my god, yeah. Oh Christ. So what year was this made?
83.
Wow. And Clash of the Titans was like 79?
81.
81? That's a big difference for only 2 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was different special effects companies doing that, too.
Yeah, true. This looks a lot better.
Yeah. I think it's a puppet, as opposed to model work.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it's a puppet.
Everything made in 83 is just better, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And Star Wars probably had a bigger budget.
Yeah. You could totally fit through there. You're skinny.
But then there's beings on the other end of it.
Yeah, but it's sure as hell better than that fucking thing. We were not expecting that. My precious. You killed my precious. Aww. That's pretty funny, actually.
Mm-hmm. Those are banthas. And that's an added scene.
They seem gentle.
The Sand People rode them in episode 4 when Luke was first attacked.
I vaguely remember that, yeah. That's obviously added after the fact. That was very clearly CGI.
Now the tentacles and that, that mouth, that's all added. And the original movie was just a big hole with teeth in the sand. The original looked better.
I don't know, I kind of like it. Although I don't really have anything to compare it to, so.
When I was a kid, I used to dig a hole in the ground and maybe pretend it was the Sarlacc pit and throw my action figures in it. Or, like, have a bucket and make pretend it was the Sarlacc pit.
That's so cute.
Fans were mad that Boba Fett died like that because he was such a popular character, so they wanted him to have a better death or more meaning. That was the guy, that was the bounty hunter who found Han in episode 5.
Oh, that wasn't his friend.
No.
Okay.
No, that was Boba Fett. So he's dead, but he was brought back in the expanded universe, so he didn't really die
crawled his way out, like, just almost dead. But I don't know what they're doing with him in this universe, because the old expanded universe ended when Episode 7 came into effect, and it just became a Legend storyline.
Oh, she killed him.
Yes, she did.
Awesome. You go, girl. Your hot-ass body.
When Han said, "I owe you one," actually Luke still owes him one, because Han saved Luke's life twice.
Oh, okay.
First in Episode 4, then in Episode 5. Look at that. He landed the ship.
Are we supposed to know what he said after he said there is another?
Skywalker.
Oh, okay. What happens to all his juju when he dies?
To Yoda?
Yeah. Like all his force and power and shit.
That's a good question.
Goes back into the universe, or?
Good question.
You totally know the answer. You're not telling me. Okay.
Maybe. That was a big shocker in the theaters. I was like,
Yeah.
what? Considering they
Kind of made
kissed
out.
each other, yeah.
I'm just amazed he figured it out so easily.
Well, he said it was his insights,
Yeah.
so the Force told him. Look familiar?
The Emperor's made a critical error. The time for our attack is coming.
The character, not the actress, was in Rogue One.
Point to the exact location of the
Okay. It's not up here.
We also know that the weapon systems of this Death Star.
So she's Mon Mothma,
The Imperial
and she was featured prominently in Rogue One.
they left to invade us.
No, I thought you meant the face, not the character.
And most important,
So curious how both Donald Glover and the guy who plays young Han is going to pull it off, the performance off.
Really?
Yeah, because the Han Solo movie is in May of 18.
I don't know who's playing Han, but I know that Donald Glover's got
Right.
this. He's pretty
Yeah.
suave.
There were rumors that the guy playing Han wasn't doing that good a job. They had to hire like an acting coach to
Wow.
kind of get a better performance from him. I mean, it's a tough role and big shoes to fill. You don't want to imitate Harrison Ford either. You know, it's that balance of imitation and getting his essence.
Right.
But I have confidence in at least Ron Howard to right the ship. No pun intended.
Yeah.
I believe this was in the Redwood Forest.
Those real trees?
I think so.
Damn. That's one place I always wanted to see.
That scene was in the Star Wars arcade game. Like those lines. And this scene right here was a clip they would show before the movie would come out. I remember watching it on TV, being so excited.
Gotta have good reflexes to pilot those.
Yeah, seriously.
I thought I read originally George Lucas wanted a planet of Wookiees, but it just wasn't in the budget, or the rumor was that he just wanted to make more toys or whatever.
God, they're so cute.
Yeah. And Ewok and Wookiee are similar. It's like Ewok is Wookiee backwards.
Yeah.
I think Carrie Fisher was married to Paul Simon at this time.
That sounds about right. Her personal life was so fucked up. Like her one-woman show when she explained her
Oh
family tree.
yeah, yeah.
I had to watch it like 5 times just to understand it.
It was great.
It was so confusing. It gave me a headache. It was great, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Like the older Carrie Fisher got, the less fucks she just really gave.
I know. That's why I loved her.
Yeah. But she did agree to lose weight for episode 7. Like, it was asked that she do that, and she did.
So is there like a person in that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little person.
A little person there.
And I believe that's Warwick Davis, who was like, I think he was like 12 or 13 when he did it. But Warwick Davis was in Willow, and he had his own show on HBO, which was hilarious. Ricky Gervais produced it, and it was called, I forgot, but he played himself. It was like a fake documentary about himself, and it was hilarious.
Good to know.
But Davis was also known as in the movie Willow.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I think George Lucas directed it. No, Ron Howard directed it and George Lucas produced it. Val Kilmer was in it. I haven't seen it in a while, but it was alright.
Wait, he knew it was his son the whole time?
The Emperor?
Yeah.
Of course.
I thought it was a big secret and nobody knew about it.
No.
Oh, fuck.
Well, in episode 5, remember what the Emperor said to Vader about the son of Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah, but he didn't.
Yeah, but the Emperor knows that Vader's Anakin.
Oh, see, I wasn't. I thought that was a big secret.
The Emperor didn't get to where he was by not knowing shit.
True that.
Or most shit. He didn't know that Luke was there.
Which is weird because he has the Force too. But I guess
Right,
the
but,
biological thing helps.
Mm.
I just look at the droids and land on them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything sounds like Japanese to me. This is what their god looks like, huh? So why did you kiss him?
That's why I think Lucas didn't know until this movie. Because why would he have him kiss?
They could have just had the closeness that they mistaked for something that was
Right.
actually brother and sister because they didn't really know that's what it was.
But if she always knew, she kissed him.
Well, she had an idea, but not really, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Good work, Commander. Leave us.
How do they not know who that is?
Your search and bring this information
Who is?
to me.
That was Luke.
I don't know. Oh, a secret entrance. That's a real language. That's a real African language.
What?
Yeah. And that character is really saying what that character would be saying if we understood what he was saying.
Well, that seems an excessively interesting detail.
Yeah.
And kind of random that it's like at one point in the movie with one thing.
Luke is in a total priest outfit.
I know. He looks like he ages yet backwards.
Looks like what?
He ages backwards.
The age?
He ages back. He looks so young.
Oh.
But he looks better in this movie than the last one.
All wings reported.
There's Wedge.
It's a trap.
That's become an internet meme. It's a trap. When I was a little kid, I'm like, just do it.
I know. I don't get it.
The Emperor. It's a trap for him though, because if Luke does nothing, the rebellion keeps losing. But if he does something, he gives in to his hate and his anger, and he turns to the dark side of the Force.
But not necessarily. He could just be doing something heroic and helping the rebellion.
Yes, but if he does it out of anger and hate, which is what
so he
the
has to do it out of not anger and hate.
or not give in to his anger. He's really angry right now, and the
Yeah.
Emperor knows that. So he's in a very precarious situation right now.
Got it.
That's where Jedi have weaknesses. Because if they give in to that anger and hate, they become really bad. And when they become really bad, they become a Vader.
Got it.
So that's why it's, training is so important. Because it's very, very tempting. You just said just do it, because it...
But I wasn't thinking of doing it because he's mad. I was thinking of
Yeah.
doing it to save his friends.
But it would have been done out of anger and hate. And that's the path to the dark side.
Got it.
But like someone like Han can probably do it out of anger and hate and then still be Han. But Luke can't. Because he'd be something worse. But it's easy. The dark side's really easy and very seductive. That's what Yoda warned him about. So in episode 5, they told him this, you can't face Vader, but in this one, they said you have to. Because I guess they felt that Luke was more advanced than that, and, he's the only one left. There's not much he can do. So they're really in a very precarious, and, they're up Schitt's Creek, basically.
Got it.
The criticism of this was, how can a bunch of Muppets take on the Empire with all their technology? But I don't know if Lucas did this consciously, but I equate this to when America was in Vietnam and we had all this money and all this firepower, but we were being defeated by people who knew the jungle. It was their home, and they also had a purpose. So even though they didn't have the technology we did, they still were able to defeat us based on guerrilla warfare and unorthodox tactics and having the home field advantage.
Yes. That was awesome. That poor little guy just swang and hit himself in the head.
It will, Commander.
Who's well?
Huh?
Who's well?
Well, whoever he is about to get fired upon.
It's a suicide mission.
Yeah. There's nowhere for them to go. They're trapped.
Shit.
Yeah. The Emperor's like 3 steps ahead.
So damn cute.
It's win-win for the Emperor, because if Luke defeats Vader, he has Luke. And if Vader defeats Luke, he has Vader.
Yep. Haha. He's mad. He's really mad. Damn it. Shit. Finally, fuck. Hell yeah.
The whole theater just erupted at that point.
Why is Vader all like dying and tired and shit?
Well,
Is it all just the electricity on
yeah,
him?
yeah. Like the Emperor had it at full power,
Okay.
and Vader got hit with it. But the rumors were that Luke was gonna die.
Yeah.
So when that part was going on, I was screaming. I was 6, and I was just screaming like no, because I really thought Luke was gonna die. So when that happened, I was just like, oh my God, like just cheering and screaming and clapping. Nobody gives a shit that Vader's right there.
Yeah. So we finally get to see what kind of creepy grossness he actually looks like.
Yep.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought. I thought there'd be more goo.
Right, that he could be turned back. Yeah. This was Lucas has been interviewed about this, about fathers and sons, about one generation to the next. You know, how the younger generation fights against the older generation, or like each generation wanting to change the other. Now, there were rumors, I don't know if this was in the original script or not, that the Falcon wasn't going to make it, that Lando was going to die in that battle, like, and he would die just as the Death Star was exploding, too. I mean, Han wanted to die in Jedi, or Harrison Ford wanted Han to die in Jedi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
He thought it would give the character more meaning,
Yeah.
and it would make the movie more unpredictable, give it more weight, that a character of his magnitude would die. So why'd you kiss him?
Let's have a party. I was so afraid that he was going to go to the dark side. I can't even tell you.
Yeah. It, very well done, that lightsaber battle. Because you believed it. You would understand it if he did. This is all added
Yeah.
in the special edition. It just shows the celebration. Because the Emperor's dead. Ding dong, the Emperor's dead.
Yay. It's very Indian.
Yeah, this song was not in the original. The original song was so much better because it was like an Ewok song, and it fucking changed it. Yeah.
They probably changed it when Bollywood stuff was like starting to convert over to America a little
I
bit.
don't know.
At the time when Slumdog Millionaire came out, I noticed the influence of the Bollywood music and stuff was a little bit heavier in regular Hollywood.
Yeah, this isn't as good as the original. The original was a song called Yub Yub that the Ewoks sang. Makes you wonder what they did with the people. They probably
Pretty
ate,
sure I can tell you what they did with the people.
probably ate them.
Yeah, obviously. I just assumed they'd be vegetarians because they're so cute and furry.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have the dead animals.
Yeah, I know.
They trap Chewie with.
I know.
If you made it this far, thanks for listening. And once again, you can follow Erin on Twitter at ERUNUEVO, and you can friend her on Facebook. You can just search for Erin New. That's ERINNEU. And you can find me. I'm Mike Lane. You can find me on Podbean. That's Mike Lane Act. That's MikeLaneACT.podbean.com. You can find me on iTunes. Search music, movies, and more. You can find me on Stitcher, I think by doing the same thing. I don't even know. YouTube, my username is Mike Lane1. That's the number 1. You can like me on Facebook. I'm at Mike Lane Actor. Find me on Twitter at Mike Lane Act. And email me at MikeLaneAct@yahoo.com. Thanks again, everyone, and until next time, bye.